Okay, dear Heavenly and precious Father, we thank you for the opportunity to serve the citizens of this great county. We thank you for being able to come together today, and God, just pray that you be with all of those that are affected by this virus and keep the rest of us safe. And Lord, keep helping this economy open back up and hopefully move on from all the struggles that we've had here lately. In your holy and precious name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. This is July 8th of 2020, and this is the first regular scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Commission. One of you all like to get started there?
Upon review of the commission minutes of June the 10th and June the 24th, 2020, I move to approve this for a regular meeting.
The motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the exonerations as presented by the Nicholas County Assessor, I move to approve accordingly.
Motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the stated fiduciary matters as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, move to approve accordingly unless otherwise noted.
Okay, the motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon submission of the budget provisions received from elected official and department heads, the commission will take appropriate action as deemed necessary.
Okay, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry.
Upon review of the invoices as submitted by various department offices, the commission will take the appropriate action as deemed necessary.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry. Anyone for the E911 advisory board? Okay. For 9 o'clock we have the commission discussion. First up, the Groves building. We do have our legal counsel Clint Bischoff here appearing by telephone. And Clint, could you just run down real quick what you sent to us earlier this week?
Yes, I will, gentlemen. I sent you all a letter, and Patty was gracious enough to print that out and give you all copies. Whether you have reviewed it or not, it's pretty straightforward, so I can just go through it very, very quickly. Commissioner Cole, I'll go ahead and begin. The issue that we have with the Groves building, as the commission recalls, is the potential sale of that property. And the issue became whether or not the county commission is prohibited or is permitted to engage in a private sale to an individual, or because it's county property, is the commission required to engage in a public sale or auction? And if you all will look at the first attachment, which is a one-page copy of West Virginia Code 7-3-3 as amended, it pretty much sets forth exactly the solution or the options we have to our issue. There's basically 3 issues with our Groves building. Number one, do we have to engage in sale by public auction, or can we sell this or convey it however we want? The code is pretty clear that based on the value of the building, and I'll get to that in a moment, that a public auction should be utilized to sell the building. And that would just be, something that a commissioner or I or any designated representative of the commission could conduct on the courthouse steps. That issue is pretty clear. Second issue is, would the potential sale of the property have to be advertised? And again, the answer is pretty clear. The answer is yes. And that would be your normal legal description that you would see in the back of the Chronicle that would set forth on this day a sale will occur. We will list the legal description as contained in the deed, the terms of the sale, and with regard to, you know, what cash is required or deposit is required to put down. That sale has to close in so many days. The sale is a as is where is sale, meaning what you see is what you get, and the deed would be a special warranty deed. So that issue is pretty clear. The third issue is the only issue that I kind of wrestle with, in the sense that there is an exception to the first issue that requires a public sale if the building is not valued, if the building is valued less than $1,000. So we could all, you know, right now, if we were all in the room, we stand up and look out the window at that Groves building, and we would say, you know, that building, it's dilapidated, it's, you know, it's not habitable, it's dangerous, really. What should we do? Is it worth $1,000? The only thing that I can think really to rely on to determine value would be the prior tax record for the assessment used by Ernst Dennison's office, and that is attachment number 2 to this letter, which assesses the land at $1,620. Now, you may wonder why the building is listed at 0, and I was wondering about that as well, and I believe that is because the building is condemned, meaning that because it went through that process, at least by the city, that it's not habitable or usable at this time, because of the issues in the building, then it's condemned, and therefore the value of the building would be 0. Of course, that doesn't, you know, that doesn't affect the land underneath it. That's actually quite, you know, could be quite valuable given the location. My suggestion to the gentleman is that if we were going to sell this building, it would require a public auction. It would require it to be advertised. Those are just kind of standard things. No big deal. And then the third issue, my opinion, my legal opinion, is that the property is not valued less than $1,000. Therefore, it would require the first 2 steps that I suggested. What questions does anybody have up to this point?
I don't believe that the city has condemned it yet. So that would be more on, I mean, I guess it's kind of an irrelevant point in a way, but one of the board members of that board is shaking his head no, that they have not condemned that building yet.
Okay. The other,
Thank you.
and of course the other, you know, reason it could be, the building could be 0 is that's what, you know, Ms. Rose filled out on her tax questionnaire that we all get, you know, every Thursday, every July. She could have valued the building at 0. And Ernie, you know, Mr. Dennison, just accepted that value. I just don't know, but I'm pretty sure I have the right tax ticket because that's the address of the building itself that's listed on the tax ticket. So
Sure. Sure.
Again, I you know, in the world that we live in, and transparency and you know, making sure that the citizens of this county, you know, are aware of what's going on. I think that West Virginia Code 7-3-3 applies, and I don't believe the exceptions found in subsection A of that code section applies. That's just my legal opinion. You know, what we don't know is what this building would fetch at auction. I mean, I mentioned in the letter that, you know, if we sell it, the buyer's taking on a lot of responsibility. There's no doubt about that. So.
Yeah. What do you all think?
Well, you know, that's the steps we need to take.
Auction it off?
Auction.
got two options. You can either auction it off or give it to the building commission and let them sell it. They don't have to have an auction. If we transfer it over to the building commission, they can just sell the thing. But I mean, it ain't gonna take the advertisement in the Chronicle is gonna cost a little bit, but I mean, 5 minutes out on the steps there ain't gonna, I mean, that ain't gonna take nothing.
Yeah.
And the thing of it is, it doesn't matter what's in it. If it's full of gorillas, whoever buys it,
It's theirs.
it's theirs. I mean, it's just like the rest of us buying anything else. If you buy a pig in a poke, when you get home, you see what color he is, that's all. I mean, that's just the way it is.
And I would agree with Commissioner Neal that certainly one of the, this is set forth in subsection B, either 2 or 3, that it could be, conveyance could be made to the building commission, and the building commission could take up the issue of the conveyance or whatnot. That would require a public sale. I don't know enough about the building commission as to whether or not they would, what their position would be on taking it on. But certainly that would be an exception in section 3 and subsection 2 and subsection 3 of 7-3-3C. And I have to admit, my letter is the fact that we have right now, based on we have a potential buyer that has offered a certain amount, but that buyer is not an instrumentality or some sort of agency, established or part of the state of West Virginia. So.
I'd say sell it. I mean, auction it off, that's fine with me. I mean, I'll go along with whatever you want to do.
I'll make a motion to do that.
Okay.
For auction. There could be a possible transfer between different government.
Government to government.
I mean, either way, we're gonna get rid of the building. I mean, if we
Right,
sell
either way,
it,
we're,
I mean, the auction,
safe.
like I say, I mean, the auction, what's it gonna cost, $100 to advertise? And then 3 minutes out on the front steps.
right.
Yeah.
And if we give it to the building commission, the only thing that eliminates is any auction or anything. I mean, they're gonna sell it anyway, so probably we'd be just well off spend $100, have the auction, and then hope it brings more than $100.
More than $1. $101.
Well, and gentlemen, let's not forget. I mean, we've all had different perspectives of the potential of that property. And when I say property, I don't necessarily mean the building, but one thing you can't change is location. That's just about the best location that you could get. So, I mean, I think there's value there. I do.
I think there is too.
But I also respect the commission's general premise that the straightest line is from A to B is the way to go. But however you all want to proceed is how we'll do it. If you gentlemen need to consider this, then certainly we can table it. But as far as drafting up a notice of publication, and all the other stuff that goes along with a a public sale or a courthouse step sale, kind of that would be no problem at all to draft up all that stuff.
Should we extend an offer to the city?
Well,
I don't want you to think that. That's my thing. I don't know.
yeah, well, I've heard anything from the city.
I haven't either.
Okay. And I think if the city were interested, that they probably would contact us.
Get out there on the courthouse lawn like everybody else, raise their hand. They leave theirs up the longest they own it.
Yeah. Well, we still have that motion on the floor.
So, would you clarify your motion?
The motion was to sell the property, auction the property off.
The commission sell. Okay. Okay, so the motion is on the floor. Is there any further discussion? And Clint, if you have anything else?
I don't have anything else, Commissioner.
No further discussion. Okay.
All those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ah,
All those against, the motion does carry. So we will begin that process. And then we have the 40th anniversary of the enactment of the Staggers Rail Act, authorizing a joint letter to Congress and the Surface Transportation Board being sought by Go Rail.
And basically what this gentleman is wanting, he's called twice already, is just your endorsement to the letter. And he just needs a name, how you want your name to appear, title, company, and he said the more that signatures he could get on the letter, the more impressive he feels that it would be. So if all three of you endorse it, then all three of your names would be on the letter.
And it's just for the fact of a letter to Congress about, the importance of rail.
Right.
Yeah.
In the Staggers Act. I don't know if they have it up before them to make any changes to that particular,
Or if it has sunset. I
yeah.
never saw anything about that.
Yeah.
what benefit is it to our county?
Well, I don't know if it would be a benefit to our county, but you're endorsing for your neighbors. You're lending your support to
Yeah.
those who have railroads.
And we do have
Down-
All of ours are hiking trails.
we still have the one over at Legacy, Carl,
Yeah.
that comes in. Okay.
Yeah, it belongs to the coal company
The
though.
whole company owns it, but it's still a river.
Right.
Okay.
And I guess the Staggers Act, what did it do back in the day? Did it deregulate the
It
rails
deregulated
to
the
let
rails.
them basically, let the companies do basically what they wanted to charge and pay and,
Well, a lot of them pulled up and out. Okay. I can remember well back in the 80s when a lot of the railroad lines around here did close, and you saw the steel taken up and the rails taken out.
Worst thing that ever happened to Summersville.
Well, and to echo Commissioner Neal, I mean, when they become those rails to trails, they never go back.
Yeah.
You're a hiking trail for an eternity.
Yeah. I'm okay with
I don't care if it's just an endorsement letter, it's no big deal, but,
it. Yeah.
I'm
You're
not,
right.
I'm not sponsoring us giving nobody no money.
no.
I got you. I agree. Okay.
Are there any motions to be made for this action item?
Yeah, if my motion is, I'll make a motion that we participate if all three of their names is on the top of the list.
But the motion is on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry.
For my minutes, can I put a LOL?
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll go ahead and take a break.
Yeah.
The shaws are not here. All right.
All right, action.
Yeah.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good
Mark
morning.
Shaw with On the Go Mission. And as you already know, me and my lovely wife, Holly, just want to come give you some updates on old business, and Holly will come behind with some new business. I need to get with you, Mr. Neal, and be in your side pocket, back pocket, front pocket, so we can schedule to get that lift down there, so we can knock this paint job out. We've noticed there's a little bit more brickwork that's kind of broken off, so we have to touch that up to put some mortar in and do that, get it all squared away down there. Second thing I want to come with you about. We've talked a little bit about it, and for some reason the Lord's got my spirit. We talked about that sign that's on the front of it, Broad Street, that ugly sign. And we talked a little bit about, and I believe Pastor Stacy was here too, about about having that sign changed out to say the Hope Center. And I think during the conversation it came up about something about grants. It would have some type of effect on grants. Well, as county officials, and God bless you all, that you have that on your county sheriffs, In God We Trust. I mean, if you go out with something like, In God We Trust on your sheriff card, hope doesn't have nothing close to it. And I brought up the definition of hope: a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. Isn't that what we want down there at that building? We're having those people go down there, and we're firsthand have the experience of knowing that things are changing down there. And that for it to be named the Hope Center, that would just show a positive feeling to the community that the city and the county is looking forward to promoting something positive and something that's happening negative now, like COVID and everything like that. That we're not going to let this, beat us down or anything like that. We just want to, bring smile to it. I mean, that's the thing is that my wife had the vision of depression and dilapidation, and that's the reason we started City Vision. And I want to press this upon you to see about giving me approval to start working ways that I can get funds or something to have that change and have that working, so it's a bright place, not just with a bright paint job on or anything like that, but with a sign that is lit up saying the Hope Center. And that's how this city and county wants to be shown to all the people that live here. So I don't know what, I just want to press upon you. I ain't trying to press for money or anything about this. I just kind of want the approval to, like, let's see about going this way.
Did we check on changing that name? There was something.
The name of the center itself cannot change.
Yeah.
Yeah, the name, it
Day
still has to be
Report
the Day
Center.
Report Center.
Right.
I mean, that's state code. But I mean, the sign itself, I guess, is
Well, I mean, the thing is,
more optional.
when I heard rumor, I don't know if it's true, about moving the sheriff department in there. Well, if you move the sheriff department in there, they ain't going to be called the Daytime Reporting Center. I mean, it's just like having the Twin Towers, all right? You have many and many and many businesses within that tower. Same way with here. If you say Daytime Reporting Center, then you're limited to anything that goes in that building is considered Daytime Reporting Center. But if we come up with Hope Center, because we hope, especially with today's rioting and everything like that, with our towards our police officers, we hope nothing happens to them or anything like that. You can place hope in any situation or any purpose that you put in that building. We should put hope to everything. When you apply for your grants, you hope you get it. You hope you get the max. So it's not about a religious word. Hope, yeah, it's in the Bible. We hope. I mean, I don't say wish, I hope, or I pray for something. So if it pretty much a secular word, just wanting to change it over, having a positive outlook on that building for people that go by. We did the material work on it to make it look better, instead of people saying how trashy it looked, or look at all those people smoking and hanging out. Well, give a fresh perspective to it all. I think we need to change the name to the Hope Center.
I mean, we look at it, that's not, I mean, that's the, when we own the building, I mean, if we want to call it whatever.
Yeah. Or another option might possibly be the Hope Building.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, since you already have a day reporting center there.
Yeah.
Okay. And have it as that option. Just thinking out loud.
Yes.
Okay.
I think the point is just making it, I think the point is just making it finished off. You know, I mean, we did this for a purpose, and right now it's just this big old yellow ugly sign that I think it says 307,
Oh, no, it's
or
Broad.
is it?
It used to be
It's got-
Broad
Used to
Street.
be
It
Broad
ain't.
Broad Street, yeah.
Yeah.
So I
Used to
mean,
be
that,
Broad Street Furniture.
and it's just ugly.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks ugly on the rest of everything that's been done. So that would just be a good way to finish off whatever the name is that we can get to put on there, and hopefully it's something encouraging and inspiring. That I think that's the point.
See how she follows me up.
There you go, there you go.
So,
Is that it?
yeah, that's it. So,
I mean,
If
I'm
I
fine.
understood correct, I mean, we have to keep the day report center, but we could have it in any building we wanted, so I guess the building itself could be renamed.
That was my thought.
I mean, you could name the building whatever you want to. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, if you move the daytime reporting center up here, would you change
Still be
the
the
county
Right,
courthouse?
sure, sure, sure.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so,
It's just the center itself would actually still have to be referred to as the day report center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But,
we.
I mean, I'm not changing what's on the window.
Yeah.
I'm changing what's going to be in the whole building itself.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
So that's what I proposed to you and everything like that. And we're really wanting to finish this building off, turn it over, and we're going to be starting something new. All right, now here's my wife.
Okay.
I'm Holly. So what we were just talking about is we want to get this finished up so we can start something new and different. We have a couple of projects that are coming down the road for us, and they're projects that we're going to that are requiring grants. And so what I would like to ask, and this is just an ask, if you would all not mind, whether jointly or individually, if you felt like you could write a letter of reference for the ministry, not for us individually, but for the ministry, just, you know, stating the obvious things that, you know, that we've done and how we've worked in the community and how we love this community, and just those kind of things, if that is something that you might be able to do for us. If not as a whole or as a commission, maybe as individuals, however you might feel like you could, how would lead according to do that. I'll be able soon to tell you what's coming down the line, and I'm really, really excited about it, and so is Mark. It's for, I feel like it'll make a huge mark here, but I think, as you already know, you know us, you know that when we do this, we're in, and God will always lead the way and make provision. And while we're on that same topic, again, we want to come back again and say thank you for all of the help that you've already been, and the things you've allowed us to do, and the doors that you've opened, and that have been open to us because of our relationship with you. And we do really very much appreciate that, and look forward to having more time with you and helping to just make our county better, you know, make our county better. And Mark and I look at this as our county. We got Texas on our license plates, but we love this. We love here, and I think it's been very apparent at every turn we've that have opportunities have come along to serve this community. We're all over it, and we've been on, you know, everything that you can do. And in case you don't know, I'm currently now serving on the Family Treatment Court, and I love that. And I love that program. It's a wonderful program, and I'm happy to know that it has support from everybody. So that's really great. So that's really all I wanted to say, is if it wouldn't be too much trouble, and if it's within the scope of what you can do, a letter from you would be really outstanding.
you draft me a letter, what you want, what you've done, what I've helped you, or we've, the commission or county, whatever, and I'll sign it for you.
You want me to make one that has just like a block for each of your signatures, or Mary, can you maybe help with that?
I can.
You can?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be great. That'd be great. I'll look to you for that. Okay. Well, that's really all I have. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Have a great day.
Any questions for us?
No, I'm fine. But I'll get you the genie down there.
Okay. If it's a matter of being able to get it down here, just tell us. We'll find a way to get it down here. We just have that front. That's all that's left. Everything else, last year, all the guys painted up with the long poles, so it's above that that awning that we have to get to. And that's really the only reason we need it. The other one we had down there last year was pretty much overkill, but it was what we had, so we made do. But I imagine a couple of days is really all we'll need it, depending on the weather. The rain stops.
Whether it rains or not.
If the rain stays all way, so we'll be good.
Now we have with us now County Clerk Robert Painter with the approval of a HAVA grant.
This is the Hopper Act grant request, and this is to get reimbursement for the added expense for primary. And it includes the people that we hired, the absentee envelopes, the block postage, sending the absentee envelopes, and some supplies, and the extra balance. Comes to a total of $21,748. Should be approved, but
And this is through the Secretary of State?
this is through the Secretary of State. Well, they administer the grant at the federal grant. And we've already received back from the governor's office $9,200 for mailing out the application.
Okay.
So that process costs right at $30,000.
Yeah, is there a motion on this item?
I'll make a motion, we approve the HAVA grant for Bobby Payne.
Okay, the motion's on the floor. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against, the motion does carry, and we appreciate your work.
Thank you,
Well
Bob.
done.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay, we have with us Mary Ann Taylor representing the Summersville CVB with the presentation of an annual report.
And I am going to take this off of you. I'll stay away, but I'm so soft-spoken that I know you won't hear me through the mask.
It'll be perfectly fine.
If I have some handouts.
Thank you.
Stand back here. Well, it's a pleasure to be here this morning to present the annual report for the Summersville Convention Visitors Bureau. I want to thank you, commissioners, for your continuous support of tourism in Nicholas County. The Summersville CVB is accredited with the West Virginia Association of CVBs. It's also a member of the West Virginia Hospitality and Travel Association and the Southeast Tourism Society. The CVB also managed the Summersville Arena and Conference Center, but as of July 1st, it was agreed by both parties to terminate that management. Funding for the CVB is through a portion of the hotel motel tax, and 40% of that funding is invested in marketing Nicholas County with a particular focus on Summersville. The marketing budget focuses on Mid-Atlantic and Northeast and Southeast regions, which include states such as West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, North South Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, DC, and New York. A portion of the marketing dollars is spent on print advertising, and we do ads in magazines such as Blue Ridge Country, Blue Ridge Outdoors Magazine, West Virginia Living, and the West Virginia Travel Guide. This fiscal year, we did partner with the Richwood CVB, and we ran an ad in Blue Ridge Outdoors Magazine focusing on fishing in both areas. The 2020 West Virginia Travel Guide, a photo of Summersville Lake is on the cover for spring and summer, and each of you has a copy of that. So we were very excited that Division of Tourism did use Summersville for the cover of that guide. In January of this year, we received 20,000 copies of our 2020 Visitors Guide. To date, we have distributed 10,800. Those go to the local hotels, the campgrounds, cabins, welcome centers. We use them at trade shows. We also send them out through the mail when people call and ask for information. And each of you has a copy of the of the Summersville Visitors Guide. And I do want to say that we really are not too far off on target with that. I know 20,000 might seem a lot, and we've given out 10,800. We're halfway through the year. We will, I feel very confident that by the end of the year, we will have distributed the majority of those. Even with the pandemic, I feel like we're still somewhat on track. Welcome centers are open now, and we're shipping boxes every week. We have 2 billboards, one on each end of town, north and south, which welcomes people into town. A large portion of our marketing dollars for the CVB are earmarked for social media. So we do search engine optimization, keyword search, display ads. We also partnered with the West Virginia Division of Tourism, and we do this quite frequently throughout the fiscal year. One of the programs that we did through the co-op program allowed us to have a 1-month exposure each on an electronic billboard near Columbus, Ohio, Charleston, West Virginia, and Charlotte, North Carolina. Without the co-op, we would not be able to afford to do something like that and reach out. Our website's doing very well. Over the past fiscal year, we had 15,000 visits to the site, which is up 18.8% from last year. Our Facebook page is also doing well. In the last 30 days, our page likes increased by 62%, and our followers increased by 47%. We also publish a monthly electronic newsletter. I do want to note that the pandemic was great for surfing the internet. When people were staying home and looking for things to do, a lot of people were surfing the internet, and a lot of people were looking at destinations. So I think that was a huge part of some of the increase we saw on Facebook and on our website. Over the past fiscal year, we have continued a partnership with SCTV, and we produce a day in every direction. We usually try to have that out every month. It provides a calendar of events and activities for the month. Earlier this year, Blue Ridge Outdoors magazine did a readers poll, and Summersville Lake was voted the best of the Blue Ridge for Flatwater. So we were very excited that readers from all over the country voted for Summersville Lake. When this fiscal year began in July of last year, 2019, our hotel motel tax was doing very well from July all the way through March of 2020. We were seeing a 3% increase over the previous year's hotel motel tax. However, when COVID hit, obviously, our hotels dropped to a 10 to 20% capacity. So in March and April, our hotel motel tax took about an 80% decrease in funding. In May, we saw a slightly better outcome with a 64% decrease in revenues from hotel motel tax. I don't have the numbers for June yet. They're not really completely compiled yet. I do think that we're going to have a slightly better June than we did in May. Also affecting the hotel motel tax, obviously, were the campgrounds and the cabins could not open when our season began. So, we lost a lot of revenue there. However, according to a Longwood study that was done by the West Virginia Division of Tourism, it does show that even with the pandemic, 47% of people still want to travel. And more people are planning staycations, so we're going to see more people from West Virginia coming here. And also, people are looking for smaller towns with wide open spaces. So, I don't know if you've been on the lake within the last month, but the lake is very, very busy. And our campgrounds are pretty much sold out. So, people are coming because we're perfect for outdoor adventure, and we're perfect for social distancing. I mean, West Virginia is definitely a perfect location to do outdoor adventure and social distancing. However, we are nowhere back to normal, and the tourism industry was one of the hardest hit industries by the pandemic, and it is going to take time to recover. But we're going to continue to move forward and do what we do and continue to market the area, continue to work with the state, and we'll just do the best that we can. And we will continue to be very cautious and follow protocols and the governor's guidelines. I did apply for a $10,000 forgivable loan from the Economic Disaster Injury Program. I applied for that in March, and we did get a response in May, and we did get a $2,000 grant that is forgivable. So we did get $2,000 from that program for the CVB to use. As I mentioned earlier, as of July 1st, the CVB no longer manages the Arena and Conference Center. The CVB office and visitor center will remain at the Arena and Conference Center, and the Arena and Conference Center will remain close partners with the CVB in many, many ways. I do appreciate the opportunity that I've had to serve the CVB over the past, it's been 9 years. When I started working here, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know anything about a CVB or how to operate it. I did not grow up, I was not born here, I was not raised here, so I was not familiar with the assets that Nicholas County had to offer. But as I got to know everything and understand the natural beauty that we have here, it became very easy for me to be able to market the area. And I've certainly learned a lot about the tourism industry, and I will always, always have a passion for tourism. I'm looking forward to training the new director for the CVB, who I believe will bring a lot of fresh ideas and build on a very strong foundation that I feel the CVB has at this time. I do want to say that I am not retiring. I know there's a lot of rumors out there that I am retiring, but I am not retiring. But I am going to focus and be solely the executive director of the Summersville Arena and Conference Center. So I'm going to be focusing more on bringing meetings and events to the area and opening the doors of the facility to the community to embrace and be able to use. As a small town, we're very fortunate to have a conference center in our town that our community can take advantage of, and also a conference center that brings people from outside the area, which in turn increases the economy of this area. So I'm really looking forward to doing that and continuing the partnership between the Arena and Conference Center, the CVB, the City of Summersville, and the Nicholas County Commission. And with that, I would like to just take a moment to introduce you to Alicia Hudkins. And Alicia is now the Executive Director of the Summersville Convention and Visitors Bureau. So she will be working with you moving forward, anything to do with the CVB. Again, I want to thank you for everything and all your support of tourism in Nicholas County, and I am happy to answer any questions.
We want to thank you for what you've done too.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations. Glad to have you.
Yep. So she will be here next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, I'm not retiring, but I'm still going to be here, so you'll still see a lot of me.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
good.
good deal. We appreciate everything you do for our county and our city.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and I enjoy it very much.
Very good.
So, thank you so much.
Thank you for coming in. Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you.
Okay, it's now time for public comment, and we do not have anyone signed up for public comment. So is there any other business to be discussed or a motion for adjournment?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Okay, the motion's on the floor is during discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those against, the motion does carry. We are adjourned.